Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm John Natale. It is my great pleasure today to have with me a young lady who I've had some really interesting conversations with in the last couple of weeks about sales and about being conscious in sales and about engaging with your audience and doing really cool stuff. Please welcome Nina Concepcion. Hello. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having
Oh,
me.
look, it's an absolute pleasure. So tell me a little bit about you, because we'll get to conscious sales in just a moment, or conscious selling in just a moment. Tell me a little bit about you. Tell me about your story. What is the Nina story? Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, I was a little girl, a little Filipino girl who moved here from the Philippines, and I was bullied all the time. People said I had a flat nose and that I had fish lips, and I had really low confidence. And it wasn't until I started growing up, I started to discover who I was. I started to get older than being in puberty. I wasn't one of those popular girls. I was kind of someone who floated around, who wanted to make friends with everybody. And I've always known something was meant, that my life was meant for more, even though it never made sense, even though people would tell me I was crazy for asking questions like, what's the meaning of life and why are we here? And what else am I supposed to do in the world rather than just go to university, get a job and die? But I always knew that I wanted to make a big difference and that I wanted to help inspire and empower people. And I didn't really know what that was, but I just kept taking one step at a time, trusting myself, moving forward, just tried to be me as much as possible. And that's how I've ended up where I am now.
Yeah. So where did that come from, do you think? Where did this desire to be more, or to have this sort of, this inspirational angle to you, where did that come from?
I like to call it a calling or
Yeah.
just an inner knowing.
Okay.
I feel like there are some of us who just know in our heart that there is something more to be done, that there is more for us to do. And I always asked a lot of questions from a young age. I was always really curious, and I just, I've gone through depression. I've gone through feeling alone. I've gone through going through the motions in life, and that doesn't satisfy me and that doesn't fulfill me. And it wasn't until I found personal development and I started discovering who I was and how I work and how to shift my mindset and surround myself with positive and empowering people, that I realized that there is an industry to be able to support people in having a better life.
Yeah. And personal development's a journey and often has some twists and turns on it. So did your journey take you kind of directly to where you are now, or were there some detours and different directions along the way?
Does anyone ever get there in a straight line?
Well, I don't know. Maybe some people do. I certainly haven't, but maybe you're one of those people. I don't know.
There's I think it's like a meme or not an emoji, like a graphic, and it shows the journey of an entrepreneur, and it's like it's like it's just all over the place. Like things are never going to be a straight line. Like life isn't a straight line, success isn't a straight line, our business and who we are isn't a straight line.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, there's definitely been a lot of different turns and wrong turns, but not wrong turns because it's all perfect. That's helped me learn and discover who I am and who I'm not. And that has led me to where I am now.
So every wrong turn ends up being a right turn in the end, right? That's what happens. So they take you in a certain direction so you can learn something, and then they bring you back on track at some point. This is my experience. Is that kind of what it's been like for you as well?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so tell me about where you are now on this journey. So where are you now? And I guess more importantly, are you happy where you are now? And are you doing stuff that's fulfilling where you are now?
Thank you for that question. I feel incredibly blessed to live the life that I have now. At the same time, I also am super grateful for myself because I decided that I was going to be here. I didn't sit on my ass and do nothing. I didn't make excuses. I didn't use money as an excuse as to why I couldn't go after my dreams. I am here because I chose to be here. I'm here because I put in the work. I'm here because I committed to myself and my vision and to make an impact. So even though I feel incredibly blessed and grateful to be where I am, I also know that there is so much power in sharing with people that anyone who's watching, they have the ability to do the exact same thing. It didn't just fall upon me. It wasn't an accident. It was intention. It was direction. It was focus. It was commitment. And so where I am in my life right now, I have a beautiful little girl. She's 2.5.
Nice.
I live in Sydney with my partner and my baby. We're looking at moving to Queensland when the borders open, after everything going on.
You and 3/4 of the rest of Australia, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a really successful business. I've been a coach now for 8 years, and only this year have I really started bringing in those consistent 10, 20, 30K months,
Yeah.
which is something that, only 1% of coaches make a 6-figure income as a coach. And I
Right.
didn't realize those statistics until this year. I'm like, wow, like I really beat the odds. And a big part of my mission is to change those odds and to support other coaches being able to hit 6 figures. But it's not about just that, because I feel like happiness is fleeting. If we forget to be grateful, if we forget to enjoy the moment, if we forget to follow where the fun is and follow what we enjoy and follow our heart and follow our intuition and invest our time with the people that we love and who love and appreciate us, we can lose happiness like that. And regardless of how much money I have had or haven't had, I've been really happy when I've been broke. I've also been incredibly sad when I've had a lot of money. So happiness isn't a direct reflection of the success, but I think of my mindset and about my intention and about how much I can be present and grateful for everything in my life.
If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that we need to be grateful for the little things, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome. Okay, so right now, you're, I guess, the people you work with and the type of work that you're doing is all revolves around conscious selling, yeah, or being in that sort of conscious selling space. Tell me what that means. What does conscious selling actually mean, or how do you define it for you and for your clients and your community?
Yeah. So conscious sales is a synergistic relationship between typically two parties, but two or more parties that is mutually beneficial for everybody involved. So it's not just beneficial for me, it's not just beneficial for my client, but it's also beneficial for the world, it's beneficial for the collective, and it is a soul contract of what we're here to do together to support the world and becoming a better place. For me, conscious sales is a calling, it's a choice. When you connect with someone and there's a heart connection there, I call them my soul aligned clients. That's conscious sales. It's not pushy, it's not manipulative, there's no need to lie, there's no need to twist anyone's arm. It's, I can see exactly where you're at and I can see how I can support you. Would you like my help? If not, that's okay. I send you love and light. That to me is conscious sales.
Okay, awesome. And so, okay, let's think about this for a second. If I'm in a business and I'm selling and making money, that should make me happy, right? So why do I need to be consciously selling?
It's funny because just because we're selling something doesn't mean we're happy.
maybe happy is not the right term. So if I've let me rephrase the question. You're right, it doesn't make us happy necessarily. Let me rephrase the question. If I have a business and we're looking for revenue and I'm making sales and that's all good and I'm using whatever techniques I'm using to achieve that, why would I want to then focus on conscious selling?
Yeah. Money comes and goes. Once the money comes and it goes, you're like, now what? What's left after the money?
Yeah.
I think we have all had an experience where we have experienced connecting with somebody who felt so out of alignment for us that we thought to ourselves, it's not even worth the money that you're paying me, or I would pay to not be in your presence. So this is why conscious sales is so powerful, because what's more important than the money is just a reflection of our commitment, right? But what is even more important is the energetic vibration, and if you're in alignment with that person or not, and then the money will come, and then the fulfillment is already there before the money even arrives. So it's about the journey rather than just the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Okay, nice. And so for you, who are the people that you work with? I mean, obviously everybody is selling, no matter what business you're in. In fact, no matter what profession you're in, for that matter, we all have to sell in some way. Right? We're either selling our ideas to the board, or we're selling our idea to our manager, or we're selling to
Our partner.
or a customer. Well, a partner, that's a whole other sales discussion we could go into on another day, perhaps, right? Maybe we could do a session on how to sell, how to sell consciously to your partner and achieve the outcomes you want there. That could be a great segment, I reckon. But for now, let's let's focus on this part, on the business part. So everyone's selling, right? Everyone has to sell something, an idea, a concept, a promotion, whatever it is. But obviously, if you've got a service or a product you're selling to clients or customers, who are the people that you tend to have in your community, and why do they come to you?
Yeah. So I support ambitious female coaches in building their business from 0 to 6 figures. So about 60% of my clients have done a lot of personal development. They've invested at least $10,000 in their own personal professional education. They've probably done a UPW event. They've gone to courses. They've invested into programs, but they haven't really had accountability and support with the action steps that support them in building their business and getting paid, which is sales. Without clients, there's no business. And so 60% of my clients come to me because they want to start making sales and they want to start becoming a paid coach, not just tell people they're a coach without any clients.
Okay.
And then the ones who are really ready to take that commitment to the next level and decide that they want to do this full time, I support them in getting to 6 figures as a coach. As I mentioned, only 1% of coaches actually reach 6 figures.
Mm-hmm.
But I do also work with other entrepreneurs, and I am also open to working with men. I just target working with women because that feels in a massive amount of alignment for me. And it's not just coaches. So one of the amazing guys that I'm working with at the moment, he's a sound healer and he does like vocal deepening lessons. I believe that we're all coaches to some degree. If we're selling anything, we are supporting people's mindset in moving into another version of themselves. So it does take a level of coaching to support people and investing into themselves, which is making a sale. So even though he may not necessarily or didn't at the start see himself as a coach, I help a lot of entrepreneurs as well in being able to package up their offers, price it correctly, position them correctly, and be able to start calling in those solo line clients, and they can start making a consistent income doing what they love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So most of the people then, it sounds like, would be relatively early in the business journey, the people you're working with. Would that be fair to say?
Not necessarily, actually. Everybody who I work with, it identifies as a coach, but they are not making the income that they want to make in the business.
Right. Okay.
So either they don't have any clients.
They may have been ticking along at a certain level for quite a long time, and they're going, look, I need, it's time to ramp this up and do something more with it. Yeah.
Exactly. So one of my other clients I was working with a few months ago, she was between 3 to 6K a month, and she hadn't made 6K a month since a year prior, and she just plateaued at that amount. Wow. And in 1 month of working with me, she closed $50,000 worth of sales in our first month of working together.
Nice.
And so someone who has a higher level of experience and somebody who already has clients coming in order to get them to that next level is actually not that hard. It's just being able to support them in seeing their blind spots, because a lot of people don't even realize what they're not doing or what they're doing wrong.
Right. So that leads me to my next question I was thinking about, because you said only 1% of coaches kind of get to 6 figures, right? So first of all, why do you think that is? And secondly, having worked with so many coaches and so many people in sort of different businesses now, what do you see as the major blocks or hurdles for them getting to that point? And why don't more people see those?
There is honestly so many blind spots. I've got a free guide on this. Like, it's a free, like 7-page guide. If you guys, what is that? www.conscioussalescoach.com. And I literally go through the main blind spots. And I pick about 5-6 different blind spots, but I'll cover a few of them now.
Perfect. We'll put the guide in the comments below. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, John. So one of the main blocks is we live in the information age. Everybody's delivering content. Everyone's putting stuff out there. Information is so easily accessible to us. So if you imagine 2 circles, right? One of them is information and one of them is delivery. These are the 2 areas that people invest the most amount of money in when it comes to the personal professional development industry. I'm going to learn how to be a better person. I'm going to learn how to be a coach. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn NLP. But people miss the overlap between information and delivery, which is
Mhm.
sales. Without the sales, you're not going to even be able to get to deliver what you do to anyone. And so I feel the biggest gap is I really believe that conscious sales is the most underutilized skill for most entrepreneurs, because if they're not bringing in money, they're not going to sustain their business.
Of course.
And another blind spot that I feel is we see someone being successful. We're like, oh, they're doing this and they've got to opt in and they have this. And if we don't have the guidance and the support with someone giving us the exact strategy of what they need to do and in what order, what's the highest paying activity, what not to waste their time on yet, they will try and do this, they will try and do that, they will try and do this. And they're spread thin in so many different areas that they're not actually getting momentum and getting results in the area that they need to get in, which is bringing clients in. And so one of the biggest blind spots is a lot of coaches are offering a whole bunch of different packages and programs and courses when they don't even know if the market needs it. They don't even know if people value what it is they're offering. They don't know how to position themselves, and they're unclear on how to articulate what they do and why somebody would even buy what it is they have to begin with. And so definitely having one-on-one coaching is the number one focus for anyone making under six figures as a coach.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of coaches talk about, I want to scale up my business. I want to go online. I want to have, I don't want to be delivering. I want to do all that sort of stuff. And they're only doing, a couple of $1,000s a month, for instance. So for those people, you would say, forget all that, get to one-on-one coaching, build that connection with those clients, and then grow from there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a theory that I had. And I'm not sure if you guys know much about human design, but I've been obsessed with that lately.
Uh-huh.
And my profile is I like to figure everything out, and I will fail a bunch of times, but then I will figure out what works. And I realized that the reason why my conscious sales method has proven to work, I haven't had anyone come through my conscious sales method and not made any sales. And that's why I offer like 105% money back guarantee, because if you follow the system, it will work. But what's really interesting is people get so distracted and they try and do a bunch of things. And it was actually my mentor, who is a multimillionaire. He said the same thing a few weeks ago. He said, if you are making less than six figures in your business, don't worry about an opt-in. Don't worry about a funnel. Don't even think about a website. Don't worry about your email list. Don't try and do a course or a program. Just focus on one-on-one, because you're going to realize, I always say action precedes confidence. You're not going to realize what you have to offer until you actually start delivering it and teaching it to other people. Like my Conscious Coaching 101 program was birthed from me taking so many people through that with one-on-one, but I've structured it in a way that people can get access to that and get access to the content, which I've already recorded, with some support and accountability, but not necessarily needing my one-on-one time as much as someone who works with me one-on-one.
Yeah.
But I know that program is easy for me to sell because I know that it works. It's proven, there's a market there, and I'm not making it up. There are so many people I've spoken to who have created a program or a course before there was a need, before they figured out what people wanted, and then it never sold.
Right. And then they wonder why. Right?
Sorry?
And then they wonder why.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm a coach who wants to hit that six figures, maybe I've been close, maybe I've had some good months along the way, and maybe I'm kind of not quite there consistently. What would you say to somebody who's at that sort of 5K, 6K, sometimes have bigger months, 10, 15, but they just never get it consistently? Why do you think that is? How do we iron out the ups and downs of being a coach and the ups and downs of that income ebb and flow?
Everybody is so unique, that I can have a few stabs in the dark to answer that question. But until I actually have a look at your business and where you're at and what you're offering, I won't be able to see the blind spots.
Okay.
And I don't want to necessarily pretend to know your business without knowing anything about your business. But it could be positioning, it could be pricing, it could be structure, it could be how often you're showing up, how often you're hopping on calls, how many people you're talking to, what your conversions are you offering free value and free training? So something that I say is, if you want to 10x your income, you need to give 10 times more value than what you want to receive back.
Yeah.
So people are like, I want to receive, I want to get, I want more money. It's like, well, what are you doing in return? What are you delivering in the marketplace? What are
Well,
you
what are,
doing to
what are you putting
serve?
out there first in terms of value that will then bring that to you? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you answered beautifully, by the way, because you just covered all of the key elements that someone needs to think about as look at, as a coach um, in different forms over 30 years. I've experienced all the ups and downs and all the things that happen, and the things that you've talked about. Those 6 or 7 things you just mentioned. Interestingly, the things that most people don't spend a lot of time thinking about and that don't
Yeah.
spend a lot of time working on. They're thinking about their course. They're thinking about their online presence. They're thinking about their Facebook page and all that sort of stuff, but they're not thinking about business model, value, contribution, conversion rates, engagement models, business model, etc. They're not thinking about those things. So I'm really glad you mentioned those, because that should highlight to people who are doing okay but not quite there yet where the gaps are, where they need to really spend some time and
Yeah.
consolidate their thinking. Yeah,
I think
perfect.
a challenge, well, is people just don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that you don't know something? You don't, right? So I remember when I first became a coach, and I was hearing about positioning, and I was like, what does that even mean? Like, it took me years to figure out what that even meant and how that impacts my business, and it impacts how I show up and the people who resonate with me and are attracted to what it is that I can do to support them.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're unclear on those words, again, go to my guide. Like, I lay it out so clearly that you will see your blind spots.
Nice. I love it. You mentioned human design before.
Yes.
So that's a new obsession with you. Are you using that in your coaching as yet, or is it more a bit of an exploration for you at this stage?
At the moment, it's a bit of an exploration. I was talking to a lot of my clients about this last week. So I have like weekly catch ups with them and trainings just for fun.
Okay.
And I spoke a lot about human design and what I've learned. Like, Nina, this is so interesting. And a few of my clients are very, very, very similar to me. So I was sharing with them some of the things that I've learned about myself and how I see it in their profile. I'm like, wow. So at the moment, I'm just a little bit obsessed with it. I'm looking to see how I can potentially incorporate it into my business model. However, conscious sales is the forefront of what I do.
Yeah, of course. Perfect. So if someone wants to connect with you on conscious sales, you've mentioned weekly catch-up calls with your clients. I've been to one of those, and the training and the value you provide is outstanding. So thank you for letting me come along. And I'm sure your people love it because there's so much value in that. So you do your weekly catch-ups. You've got Conscious Sales 101. You've got your one-on-one coaching. If someone wants to explore how they would work with you, what's the best way to do that?
So, because you are a contact or a friend of John, and I absolutely, oh, there's my alarm, and I absolutely love John,
Oh,
then I would love to connect with you and see where you're at. So I'm a projector. So that for those people who don't know what a projector is, I'm really good at I can get really, really focused and look into your soul. So if you really do want to change your results, you really do want to shift some things, let me know, reach out to me, let me know that you found me through this live. Definitely let me know this is where you came from, because I'll take you a little bit more seriously. And let me know that you want to have a free 15-minute connection call, and I'll just direct you in the right direction. I'll say the guide's definitely for you, or I've got hours of free training in my Facebook group, so I recommend this specific training, or I actually have a coach who does this. I'm going to direct you in this direction. I'm really good at seeing where people's blind spots are and directing them to what they need to do in the order that they need to do it in order to get to where they want to get to the fastest.
yeah.
So I'd love to connect. Let's just hop on a quick 15-minute call. Or if you just want to get my guide, then you can also just go to www.conscioussalescoach.com.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you so much, Nina. I love your energy. I love what you're doing in the sales space. I think it's so much need for that in the sales space to get people to connect that way. Just before we go, you mentioned you used a really cool term, which was soul aligned client. I love that term. Just tell me how you think about that before we go. We'll wrap up on that, because I think as a coach, you want to work with people that you really enjoy working with and where you think you can provide the most value, and where you're really going to create some outcomes for that person that are going to change their lives, basically, or their business and subsequently their lives. So what does that mean to you in terms of that soul aligned aspect?
Am I allowed to swear?
Sure.
So soul aligned clients are someone who feels like a fuck yes. So for me, I get sweaty when I'm talking to someone I really vibe with, and I get really excited, and it's like catching up with a best friend. You're like, oh, this feels really exciting and it feels really good, and it lights me up from the inside. That is the clearest sign for me that someone is my soul aligned client. At the same time, you will start to get clearer on that gauge in yourself as you work with more people. So I'm so much clearer now than I used to be. If someone's like, how am I feeling? I'll trust my intuition whichever way I go. And then I'll learn something about that experience will help me get more clarity with who I am and who I want to work with and don't want to work with. So do not be afraid. If you are on the fence with someone, maybe just give them a go and see how it goes. Trust yourself if you feel like you need to end that relationship. But when someone feels like, oh, this feels so good and juicy, I just love you and I just want to work with you and I just want to see what we can do together, that is where we want to get to. We want to attract the people who appreciate us, love us, and we love them, because that's what life's about.
And absolutely. And you're going to deliver much more value and create more amazing outcomes and have more fun along the way.
Exactly.
Awesome. I love it. Give me the website one more time.
.com. That's correct.
Is that correct?
Sorry guys, something going on upstairs.
That's all right.
www.conscioussalescoach.com.
Perfect. Nina, thank you so much. As I said, love what you're doing, love your energy, and can't wait to catch up again. And we'll talk real soon.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.